What makes a great reach out? Like, there's actually an art and science to this that I've loved learning from you both.
Yeah, I'll cover the science and Carly can cover the art. On the science side, two things that are very helpful when you're sending an email if you're looking for a response. The first is to have your subject line be very compelling and make it something unique in their inbox. You want to stay away from reaching out. You want to stay away from nice to meet you. You want to stay away from thank you. Have the subject line be specific. But on top of that, you also want to use title case. So what title case means is that every important word in the subject line is capitalized. There's a lot of research that using title case in the subject line inspires people to open their email more often, which makes you more likely to get a response. So use that title case in the subject line, have it be specific. You have a higher chance of your email being opened. That's number one on the science side. The second thing is that you need to be short in your email. Brevity is a gift. And the way that you can check to see if it's short is see if the email is short enough to read out loud on a voicemail message. If it was something you could read out loud as if you're leaving a voicemail, you are good to go. Send that off. Carly, talk about the art.
My favorite. So I think my favorite rule of the reach out is specificity. Sending a specific reach out is what is going to really make it yours. And not only will people want to respond to that and it will, further communication, but it's really what ups the confidence when you're scared, when you're sending a scary reach out, or when you're sending a reach out that has like you're a little nervous to send it. That's really great. But what helps you press send is the specificity, is the fact that, you're doing something that only you can do. And I think what makes a great reach out is really acting on the impulse. We all of us have many times thoughts about like, oh yeah, I should reach out to that person. And then for whatever reason, we get distracted, we get busy, we're afraid, we don't send it. And that's, I think, something about humans, that we sometimes don't do the things that we say we want to do, or sometimes we don't act on our impulses. And the thing that makes a great reach out is just being able to say yes to yourself and to have the impulse of like, wow, I loved that book. I want to reach out to that author, and actually doing it.
Yeah. And the other piece that and I think what's great about in the reach out parties, you actually spend a lot of time of, enabling everybody, and enable being a positive word in that situation, but getting people to sort of, tear away all the reasons that they don't do it. Is it time? You're giving them time. Is it fear? You put some inspiration in there, right? Like, I think without having everybody feel like they're on the therapist couch, you do a fantastic job of like giving them that space to make the most of that 27 minutes in their reach out. What are the other things though that's a secret nugget? I mean, I know there's the sandwich of compliment, comment, compliment, but you position it differently. So what's the other magical part that you like to put in the reach out? Starts with a G.
Gift. It's a gift. We always think that, I'm just feeling so zany today. It's a gift. So when we send a reach out email, usually when you think about reaching out to a stranger, you think about the ask. Why are you reaching out to them? What are you trying to get from them? And we really encourage you to think about it differently. What are you giving to them? How can you add joy to someone else's inbox? What's an email that you think they need that will make their day? And you can have an ask in the initial email, but you also can be giving them a gift of like, hey, I saw your career history. I've been following you on Instagram for quite some time. Just want to say it's really inspiring how you've done X, Y, or Z. Or I came across this piece of public art that you put out, and can I just say it completely changed blah, blah, blah. I start every day with your podcast, and it makes me think so differently about what I am doing in the world. Give them that really genuine compliment. Whose inbox is full of gifts? No one's. It's full of to-dos and calendar invites, and being able to stand out because you're giving them a real genuine gift is reason number one is it makes the world a better place, which is why we're all here. But reason number two is that it also is the best way to start a true relationship with them, so that 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years later, when you think, hey, you know, that person could actually help me get this, reply back to the original thread, remind them that you've been following their journey for quite some time, and then make the ask. We do the gift before the ask in our parties.
And to build on that, I think, and Carly, you do a great job, is like, sometimes there doesn't have to be an ask. Like, I think that's been a stumbling block, you know, I think for myself as well. And that's having the reach out parties flip that has been really helpful. And I think, to your point, reaching out to somebody doesn't, you know, you may not hear from them, right? Like, right. You may not hear from them. And, you know, Carly, you've even given examples of sending a reach out to a person, place that's inanimate or maybe no longer with us, right? Like, there's that whole gratitude for it may be something you need to say.
Yeah. You know, I used to keep a gratitude journal, which is a super trendy, popular thing. And then I was like, this is what this is doing. It's great for me, but it's just sitting in this dusty journal next to my bed. So it's a great way to just like put a little action underneath your gratitude. And, you know, it's such an incredible practice for yourself and for others to actually find out, you know, what are you grateful for? Why do you love this person's work? And answer the question why. So that goes back to specificity. You're sending an email to say, hey, I wake up with your podcast every morning. I love it. That's great. And also, what do you love about it? And it makes you just think, like, why do I love this thing? Or why do I want this person to keep creating work? And especially in COVID times like these, very isolating, difficult times for people, for all of us to show up for someone else and say, hey, I see what you're doing. Please keep going. I love it. And this is why. That can be an incredible, incredible gift to give to someone else during this time.
And it has been. So I'm going to recap what makes a great reach out. Subject line, brevity, specificity, and the gift.